Welcome to the White Mountains of northeastern Arizona. My name is Stephanie Rainey. I'll be your guide today as we travel into the backwoods to search for a variety of wildlife that inhabit the White Mountains. On our trek, we'll encounter black bear, Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, Rocky Mountain elk, javelina, mountain lions, pronghorn antelope, mule deer, Merriam turkey, and countless other wild animals. I've spent the last 10 years wandering the woods of the White Mountains filming wildlife, and this is my video journal. So put away your compass and follow me as I show you my favorite footage from the past 10 years. So sit back and enjoy wildlife of the White Mountains. And let's get started with one of my favorite animals, the Rocky Mountain elk. A large bull elk can weigh up to 1,200 pounds, but usually will range from 600 to 800 pounds. Mature cows will range from 450 to 600 pounds. An elk can approach 40 miles per hour for short periods and nearly 30 miles per hour for longer periods. Elk are strong swimmers. Even calves can swim over a mile. And did you know that elk can jump vertically 8 to 10 feet? And here's a bull that's measuring a fence to see how high it is. Then he makes his leap, and over the fence he goes. It's that easy for them. The breeding period for elk is from September to October. The young begin to appear in June, and the average number of young is 1. Elk inhabit forest with Douglas fir, aspen, ponderosa pine, and juniper trees. They prefer to eat weeds, grass, sedges, shrubs, willows, and trees. The main predators of elk are mountain lion and coyotes. Now, do you hear that noise in the background? Do you know what that is? That's the noises that cow elk and elk calves make. They're talking to each other. The cow elk are trying to keep track of the little ones, and so they chirp and they make a mew sound. This is how they communicate to each other. And here comes a bull elk. They make an incredible sound. It's called a bugle. And once you've heard it, you'll never forget it. I'm still in awe each and every time I go out in September to hear them bugle. It truly is an incredible sound. September is my favorite month of the year to be out in the woods. The other great thing about being in the woods in September is that you might get a chance to see two bull elk fight it out. This was incredible footage that I captured. Look at that tree still swaying back and forth where they hit it. They have incredible strength. And these are two young bulls just fighting it out. It's incredible to hear them just crashing their antlers together. And this is one of my favorite clips. I got to run with the bulls. And what that is that during breeding season, there's a time when the bulls are so crazy for the cow elk that they don't care if you're around. See this bull? He knows I'm there. But I had bulls running by me, just screaming and bugling and fighting. It was truly an incredible experience.
Oh man, that was cool. There had to have been at least 10 bulls in there, and they're all fighting for the cows and just bugling and bugling. They're still bugling back in the distance there. Now that's what it's all about.
The most numerous, widespread, and popular of Arizona's big game animals are deer. We have two distinct species here in the White Mountains, the mule deer and the white-tailed deer. According to the Arizona Game and Fish Department, the most abundant deer in Arizona is the Rocky Mountain mule deer. Mule deer are not limited to any one type of terrain, being found from sparse, low deserts to high forested mountains. Generally, they prefer the more rugged country. The mule deer gets its name from its large ears. The mule deer is the largest of Arizona's deer. Adult bucks may weigh in excess of 200 pounds and stand up to 42 inches at the shoulder. Does average 125 pounds. Each year in the spring, after the breeding season has passed, antlers are shed. It is in preparation for the rut that mule deer grow antlers. Bucks are polygamous and will also fight for a harem of does, just like bull elk, during the winter breeding season. After a gestation period of about 190 days, the does give birth to spotted fawns, often twins. Fawns are dropped about midsummer. At higher elevations, the fawns are born early after the last spring storms to allow the young to grow large enough to withstand the winter storms. At lower, drier elevations, drop time is synchronized more with summer rains that bring on new plant growth. A fawn's spots will disappear in about 2 months, and the young will stay with their mother until the following spring. In the wild, deer have a lifespan of about 10 years. Deer feed on grasses and forbs in the spring and summer. However, they are primarily browsers. They eat such items as twigs, bark, buds, leaves, and nuts. Important plants in a mule deer's diet include mountain mahogany, buckbrush, cliff rose, sagebrush, buckthorn, juniper, and oak. Most feeding is done at dawn and dusk, although human activity may cause a shift to more feeding at night. In Arizona, Predation on deer is mainly by coyotes, bobcats, and mountain lions. And speaking of mountain lions, look at the footage that I captured of this mountain lion in a juniper tree. This is a photo I took of it. Look at those teeth. They truly are ferocious creatures. Not one I would like to mess with. This is a javelina. Adult javelinas generally weigh 35 to 60 pounds, the male being slightly heavier than the female. Newborn javelina weigh about 1 pound. Javelina continue to grow until they reach adult height in about 10 months. Javelina are capable of breeding throughout the year, the only wild ungulate in the Western Hemisphere with a year-long breeding season. Javelina feed on flowers, fruits, nuts, berries, bulbs, and most succulent plants. Prickly pear cactus makes up the major portion of their diet. Predation on javelina is common from mountain lions and bobcats. Coyotes and golden eagles are effective predators of juvenile javelina. And if you ever see this critter in the woods, you better be heading the other way. This is a badger. I'm thankful he was running away from me, 'cause they are one mean critter. They're from the weasel family. And here's tracks to one of my favorite animals of the White Mountains, the black bear. The black bear is found in most woodland habitats, including pinyon juniper, oak woodland, pine, aspen fir, and chaparral forest. Black bears are characterized as shy, secretive animals possessing considerable curiosity and displaying high levels of intelligence and exploratory behavior. As often as I am in the backcountry, I rarely see bear, so I was thrilled to find this young cub. In Arizona, we have 3 different varieties of wild turkeys: the ghouls, the Rio Grande, and the Merriam turkey. Here in the White Mountains, we have Merriam turkeys. The breeding period for turkeys is usually late April into May. The young will appear in June, and the average number of young is 9. Most turkeys inhabit pine forest. Their food preference is green weeds, insects, juniper berries, acorns, grass seed, mast, and pine seeds. The males can weigh anywhere from 15 to 30 pounds, and the females 8 to 12 pounds. Predators of turkeys are bobcats, coyotes, foxes, eagles, and great horned owls. And here is a pronghorn antelope. In Arizona, antelope are found primarily in high elevation meadows between forested areas, semi-desert grasslands, and scattered herds are found in the grasslands of southeastern Arizona. The name pronghorn comes from the pronged or sharply pointed horn of the male antelope. The female's horns are smaller and more slender. Antelope have true horns in that the horny tissue is composed of fused hairs which form over a bone core. Horns reach their maximum size during the summer, and the sheaths are shed annually, usually in the fall. Antelope have exceptional eyesight and are one of the fastest animals, being able to run in excess of 60 miles per hour. Adult male antelope weigh 90 to 120 pounds, where females are about 20 pounds lighter. Antelope are primarily browsers, eating sagebrush, grass, cacti, weeds, and juniper. Wild antelope usually reach ages of 6 to 8 years. In the fall, bucks collect harems up to 15 to 20 does, which they then defend from other bucks. Antelope breed in August and September, and the young are born in May and June. The gestation period for the antelope is the longest for big game animals in the United States. About 8 months after mating, 1 or 2 fawns are born. The young are not spotted like fawns of the deer family, but instead have markings similar to the adults. The fawns remain hidden with the does feeding them several times a day until they are strong enough to travel with the adults. Predators of antelope are eagles and coyotes. There is no mistaking a beaver. No other Arizona rodent even comes close to weighing between 30 and 60 pounds and exceeding 2 feet in length. Arizona beaver are typically a light yellowish cinnamon color. Beavers commonly dig their dens in the bank along the stream, river, or canal where they live. Whatever its construction, the den will be located above the water line, lined with cattails and grasses, and will provide a nursery area for the 2 to 4 kits or young beavers born in the spring. In Arizona, we have both desert and Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. In the White Mountains, we have Rocky Mountain bighorns. Each year, the Arizona Game and Fish Department surveys the population of bighorn sheep in the White Mountains, and one year I was lucky enough to ride along. We rode mules into the high, rocky terrain near the Black River where the sheep like to hang out. It was an experience of a lifetime. Rocky Mountain bighorn rams can weigh up to 340 pounds. The ewes are much smaller. A full-grown male may stand over 3 feet tall at the shoulder. The biggest visual difference between male and female bighorn are the horns. Ewe horns are generally 10 to 13 inches long, with a circumference of 5 to 6 inches. Ram horns may measure 30 to 4 inches along the outside curl, with a basal circumference of 13 to 15 inches. Newborn bighorn lambs weigh 8 to 10 pounds. The young are active within minutes after birth. The young have dark eyes and fuzzy, dark gray hair. As they mature, their eyes take on the characteristic golden or amber color. Bighorn sheep have a life expectancy of 10 to 12 years, but can reach 17 or older. Bighorn sheep are diurnal. They are active during the daytime hours. Females with lambs and yearlings usually travel further than rams because of there being more mouths to feed. Bighorns usually stay in small groups, but have been seen in herds of 50 or more. Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep are very social animals, generally separated into 2 groups. Mature rams stay in one group, while the ewes, lambs, and young rams congregate separately. The groups join during the rut, usually mid-November through late December, and sometimes for a short period for the spring. In the wild, grasses are important to the bighorn. Preferred plant species vary with habitat quality, locality, and species availability. Mountain lions, golden eagles, bobcats, and coyotes are all predators of bighorn sheep.
Now, if you really want to get close to wildlife, here's a few tips I have for you.
For those of you that enjoy wildlife viewing, here are a few tips. First, try to be invisible. If you have camouflage clothing, use it. If not, then use what nature provides. Things like trees and rocks can be used to hide your movements.
I like to use camouflage when I'm out filming. It helps so I can sneak up on the animals, film them, take my photographs, and then sneak back out, and I don't disturb them at all.
Look for movement in the forest, shapes and colors that do not belong. That's why I stop frequently and use my binoculars. Most importantly, be patient and be quiet. Remember, wildlife learn survival instincts from the very day they were born. They use their eyes, ears, and most importantly, their noses to survive day to day. So your best chance at finding and photographing wildlife is to use all of your senses and practice your skills. Start by hiking quietly and stopping frequently to search for movement. Then try to think like an animal. If it's hot outside, animals won't be wandering around. Think about it. Would you walk around with a fur coat on during the hottest part of the day? No, you wouldn't. And neither would an elk with a thick, insulated hide. If it's hot outdoors, elk are probably bedded down in a shady spot high on a mountaintop, watching the crazy photographers wander the countryside down below them. Wildlife come out early in the morning and near dusk to feed. Look for tracks, scat, and other signs that tell you wildlife are in the area. I like to find game trails and follow them. Sooner or later, something will be coming down those trails, and that's when you get your chance to take that photograph of a lifetime. Have fun when you're outdoors. Enjoy the simple offerings that nature provides. A cool breeze, the smell of a damp aspen leaf, or the sound of a bugling elk in the distance. The White Mountains and surrounding areas offer a wide diversity of birding opportunities, everything from woodpeckers to hummingbirds to rare sightings of this bird, the northern goshawk. This is a juvenile goshawk. And this is a common nighthawk, a medium-sized nocturnal bird whose presence and identity are best revealed by its vocalization and intricate patterns that help the bird become invisible by day. And this is a juvenile red-tailed hawk. And here are more photos of juvenile red-tails. The White Mountains is also the home to bald eagles. These bald eagles are from the Luna Lake nest site near Alpine, Arizona. Most of the Arizona bald eagles are snowbirds. They move down from the north in December, are commonly seen perched at the White Mountain lakes and reservoirs in January and February, and begin moving back north by March. This is a Mexican spotted owl. Mexican spotted owls are strictly nocturnal and feed on small mammals, birds, rodents, lizards, insects, and occasionally bats. The spotted owl hunts by perching and diving. The owl will spend minutes, even hours, perched on a branch waiting for prey to venture near. When prey is spotted, the owl swoops down and grabs the prey with its talons. Watch this adult owl swoop down and grab a mouse. It's really cool. Well, we have come to the end of the trail. I hope you enjoyed watching Wildlife of the White Mountains. I certainly enjoyed being your guide. And my hope is that whenever you have the opportunity to explore the outdoors, that you share nature's gifts with your children and family. For the joy and beauties of nature were meant to be shared with others.